They dropped out a warp over Theta 9, and, for the 37th time in Captain Renville's career, long-range scans painted the same insult across his screens. Human cities on coastlines, traffic in lanes, overly expensive celebrations of monogamy, forgotten anniversaries, shrines for the worshipper discounts, and screens, one of the great human breakthroughs in eye contact avoidance technology. Humans, he said, like the word tasted old. Or whatever they call themselves. Again. He was expecting real, proper aliens. He got humanity repackaged. Again. Dr. Sen Allah peered into the holoplot, as if kindness might change the pixels. I must say that there are significant differences in this culture versus the other 133 known human-like cultures. Their caffeine is a vitamin, sarcasm is a mating display, and, interestingly, their main religion advocates oneness, though currently divided into 927 official interpretations of it. Captain Renville slammed a fist on the console so hard the readout stuttered. Perfect. The entire galaxy, millions of worlds, and not a single real alien among them. Another civilization of bickering primates preaching cosmic harmony while stabbing each other over logo design. You call that a difference, Sen? Every populated star we cross is the same smug carbon copy. Same faces, same credit system, and somehow they all invented pizza. And without fail, every one of them decides pineapple on pizza is a bold cultural choice. I have spent my career mapping the galaxy's DNA only to confirm we're a cosmic franchise for some reason, and every planet's just another branch of Homo disappointmentus. The Flat Shoe Lance, named for its blade-flat profile and inspired by Shu, the Egyptian god of air, light, and wind, glided in on silent thrusters. Vale hated the name, a ship dedicated to the god of wind, captained by a man whose career had become one long, disappointing fart in the face of discovery. Decades, he said, softer now. We crossed the dark just to find humanity. Some still discovering fire, others live-streaming it for likes. Sen tilted her head. Perhaps the universe just enjoys harmony. Vale exhaled through his nose. Harmony's one thing, Sen, but the universe humming the same tune everywhere? That doesn't make any sense. The doors hissed open. Tilda Foom marched in, brandishing an AI wrench and the remains of a rapper like evidence in a trial. Confess! She announced to the whole bridge. Someone stole my protein bars. The spicy ones. I labelled them Tildas. Do not anger fate. Fate is now annoyed. Captain Vale didn't turn. Quartermaster, not now. They were right between the pickled tongues and my spore mayonnaise bucket, she said. If someone took this because the tongues whispered again, the whispering is very normal. Yes. It could be stress eating, Sen said gently, and turned back to the console. Tilda held up the mangled foil. Oh, sure, she said, because I always take neat, evenly spaced bites out of foil when I'm anxious. Sen gave her a distracted smile. Probably a heat warp. Happens in the galley all the time. Tilda hesitated. Maybe. Yeah, could be. Good, Vale said, turning back to the console. Now, Dr. Allah, the signal? Sen nodded and resumed scanning. Tilda stuffed the wrapper in her pocket. Next time I'm mixing the pudding with antifreeze. Natural selection can sort it out. And left the bridge. 5 minutes later, the ship screamed. Lights flickered. The gravity hiccuped. A coffee mug did a slow ballet in mid-air before smashing against the bulkhead. Vale's voice cut through the alarms. Sen, report! Sen stared at the console, baffled. Internal fluctuation. Something tripped the emergency lever, but there's no record of movement. Tilda's voice crackled through the comms, ragged and triumphant. I got him! I got the slimy little son of a starfish! Vale froze. Quartermaster, these interruptions are becoming disruptive. Don't worry, Captain, Tilda said, panting. He fell for the pudding trap. Rookie mistake. Sen blinked. There's a pudding trap? Vale closed his eyes. Of course there is. Tilda marched in, hugging empty space like a struggling cat. Quit wriggling, Jelly Grandpa! A dry, papery voice trembled through the air. Val's walked like English, learned from a haunted radio. Respectfully, it said, each symbol wrapped in condescension and charm. I am not gelatinous, it said. And your evolution's petri dish, a civilization of mold. Vale didn't look at Tilda. He stared at the nothing she held. Name, origin, how did you breach my ship? How can a human be camouflaged so well? Tilda squeezed. The invisible thing wheezed. I am Kixrix, it said, with disgusted calm. Human? Captain, I have flaws, but let's stay civil. A pause. Origin? Irrelevant. You wouldn't survive the pronunciation. As for your ship, Captain, I didn't breach it, I noticed it. You built it loud enough to wake gravity. Vale's eyes lit. You're not human. Sen leaned forward, voice trembling with fascination. An actual sentient non-hominid? Why are you here? Grix whispered, resigned. Perfect. I guess we have a few milliseconds to chat. Think of me as sort of an observer, Kirik sighed, voice like dry paper folding. If I were human, I would probably be a zoologist observing gorillas. Unfortunately, in this case, the type of gorillas flinging excrement and congratulating themselves on its trajectory. And, well... Suddenly, Console shrieked. Sen's eyes widened. Contacts? 7? No, 11 targets just resolved. Signatures are... impossible. Negative inertia, braided gravities. They're flying combat maneuvers. Towards us! Kirix laughed. An invisible, bright, mean sound. How quaint. Enforcement has arrived. You likely won't grasp this, but the reason you only ever find human-like life is that higher beings find your kind, well, intolerable. Your noise, cosmic pests. Now, what do you think happens when they find out you know this galaxy-wide secret? That's why they're here. Vale froze. His pulse spiked. Half terror, half the giddy awe of discovery. Sen recalculated her life choices. Tilda put on her welding goggles. What will happen now? Kixrix chuckled. Sterilization. You're the universe's rash. Time for ointment. The ships converged, their shapes barely readable on the bridge's display. Vale lifted his chin. Battle stations! Battle stations! Tilda whispered. If they're telepathic, everyone think of soup. Soup's neutral. The bridge held its breath as a cool light swept the room. No heat, just the clean click of an audit. It skated over Vale, Sen, the consoles, and halted on Tilda, as if the universe had spotted a fire hazard. Outside, 11 predators froze mid-pounce. Sen turned to look at Tilda. Relax, Tilda said with a wink. The vacuum will cushion the blast. Vale didn't turn. What just happened? The air around Kixrix tightened. They scanned the witness. They realized what she is. Sen whispered, What is she? The air rippled once, and Tilda was gone.